Hey, thanks for dropping by to the Planners on Purpose podcast, created by Naomi Tucker, CMP. Now, this space is for the event planners to encourage and empower you so that you can fully live your life on purpose. So before we dig in, please take a moment to subscribe so you get future shows. Now, here she comes, your host, Naomi.
Well, hello, everyone. This is Naomi Tucker with the Planners on Purpose podcast. I hope you're doing well, that you're enjoying your day, whatever day it is that you're listening to this. I thank you so much for listening. And today I wanted to shed a little light on curiosity and necessity and how it can drive your career success. This comes up because I was asked a question, so I wanted to definitely run it past you and to see what you think about these drivers of curiosity and necessity. A local technical college had some students meet, some seasoned hospitality and event professionals. It was a speed dating session. There was questions that were asked by the students to these seasoned event professionals. I was a part of those seasoned event professionals that were brought in to answer some of these questions. It was a really fun time. There are so many sharp hospitality and event management program students, and it made me just so proud of what is to come in the industry and those that are actually entering in this career. One of the ladies asked me a question. She asked a question about my career, and she said, how did I know when it was time to go from position to position as I moved through my career? And it really got me thinking, and I appreciated her question. It got me thinking, and I thought to myself, well, what did get me to move along from one job or another? Like, what was that driving factor that moved me from one job to another? So I began to explain to her my progression of my career and really discuss my movements. And I realized as I was speaking to her that I was moved through my career either by curiosity or by sheer necessity. And it made me really just stop. It made me stop and realize that I never thought about it in that way before. But the movements that I made had either been because I was purely curious about a position, curious about the industry. And because I had that curiosity, I felt the need to move forward and explore. So curiosity is really a great trait to have in your back pocket. It can get you through so many turns in your career, and it can help you set the bar higher for yourself in your current role. And perhaps it can help you think of new and creative ideas to perhaps expand your role. For me, my curiosity was learning all about the different facets of the hospitality and event management industry. I worked in a hotel as I started off my career, but curiosity really helped me move from department to department and learn all I can. I was really excited about just learning and growing. So I would say there are other times where curiosity encouraged me to plan events in different locations internationally, to travel and learn and experience other parts of the world too. It was my pure curiosity that helped me to do that. So it moved me through learning about third-party planning, in-house corporate events, speaking facilitation, coaching, now even podcasting. So the exciting thing is that the event industry has just so many facets for anyone to experience, and it can keep your curiosity occupied for a while. Because for me, it's been almost 30 years. So what about you? How has curiosity helped you fuel your career? Because curious people tend to figure things out, learn new things, think outside of the box. And this can be a critical soft skill to career success and really help you move from one area to another. Being curious is something that employers can see in your interview because it can give light to the passion that's within you. We should be able to think differently about curiosity because we can use it. To me, curiosity is like an expansion word, and I'm really starting to like it. So on the other hand, we have necessity. Have you ever been brought into a role or moved to a role due to necessity? And when you think about this, it can be needy. Necessity to me is needy. When I think of necessity, I feel like it's something that I need. It's a bare bones necessity. And so this for you can be anything. It can be the necessity for money to just purely get away from a situation, perhaps a toxic workplace, perhaps a leader, maybe a client, a colleague, or just to have a better work-life situation. Those can be some needs or necessity type things that will be the driver for moving away from a particular role or job that you currently have. Is that something that has happened to you in your career? Well, I can tell you it's happened to me too. It was before remote work, and I was advocating for remote work because I needed it. I needed that different type of work so that it can help me support my family. And to tell you the truth, people weren't ready for it yet. Well, they're used to it now, but people were not ready for it yet. I saw remote work be a big thing before it actually was mainstream, but leadership really didn't. And the reason why I needed it, it was for additional support. So it actually made me seek elsewhere because I needed the abilities to support my growing family. And that moved me into another role. That need to support my family, I guess, prompted the opportunity for me to look elsewhere and find something that was a good win-win for me. So I was able to get a role that gave me great flexibility. And because I was naturally curious, it was a role that allowed me to learn and allow me to grow too. So that was great. I feel like it was a win-win, but it isn't always that way, because typically when you're making moves based off of necessity, it can be very tricky because sometimes you can end up in places that you truly aren't happy with because we were focusing more on that need and not necessarily lacing it in with our curiosity and our passion and what we want to do. We leave it at the need. And when we do that, it can really leave us lacking in that particular position. So when I look at this situation for myself and for that transition, it's easy for me to see that it was responsibility. It was about my duty to my family. And sometimes necessity, again, it doesn't weigh as high as curiosity, in my opinion. So it's nice to be able to lead by pure curiosity. And if you have that necessity that you need to move away, try to make sure that you're adding in some of your curiosity into that mix so that you can really land in a place that's going to be all around a win-win for you. So what about you? Can you see, perhaps after me explaining some of these things, where you've had a necessity in your career? I would bet that everybody has at least one time in their life that they've had to move due to a necessity. And if you're one of those rare people who only move to their next opportunity based off of curiosity all of the time, how about you just ask yourself, have you ever even rooted a decision out of necessity? And you'll be able to at least use that to see what the difference is between having pure curiosity or leading by necessity. Many times necessity, it puts ourselves, again, on focusing on the need versus on what's possible. And that subtle difference can leave us focused on slightly different things if we aren't careful. So we definitely want to make sure that in our future, as we're moving forward, that we definitely focus on being curious. Maybe that need has to drive us, but focus on being curious. And just a word to the wise, if you stay in a non-curious state, sometimes this means that you're not really wanting to learn and grow. And it can often put us in places of comfort without a big push to move forward. And it can put you in a situation where you just stay the same and stick with what you already know. So not being curious can keep you where you are, and you'll find ways to prevent yourself from learning. in being non-curious. So all this to say, curiosity can help us learn, help us grow, allow us to ask different questions and take risks to meet new people, do new things. And because it's curiosity, it is actually fun and exciting. So I want to hear from you. Weigh in. Do you think curiosity or necessity was responsible for your career choices? Send me a DM on IG, on Instagram. Let me know. My handle is @PlannersOnPurpose. I look forward to hearing from you there. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And until next time, please stay on purpose.
Well, that wraps it up for this episode. If you enjoyed the conversation, hit the like button and tell us how much you enjoyed the show by leaving a message in the comments. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.